Welcome to the Double Chins Wagon podcast, where Rae and Lindsey discuss the absurdities of being millennial moms in rural America and the challenges of living authentically. Please leave a review, subscribe, and interact with us by visiting doublechinswagon.com. Now we hope you enjoy the show.
I will in other news.
And while we're talking about feminism, let's talk about beards on women, aka I have been struggling to keep up with my beard growth lately. It's just out of control. And I know it's because my hormones are changing because I'm 40 and fucking in perimenopause, apparently. It sucks because I've never waxed before. I know you do that, which is probably what I should consider. I don't think I could do it myself, though. And then that gets expensive.
My chin ones are not so bad, but I get a real thick stash. I guarantee you guys, go back and watch videos. It's not hard to tell. If you watch our videos, you'll definitely notice. Be like, oh, Rae should wax. And then you'll notice that I do that, which is, okay, so interesting that you bring that up because I simultaneously do and don't care about miscellaneous hairs.
Right.
I do wax my lovely lady stash, and I pluck what I call my granny hairs, the old lady hairs. My kids will do it too. So the chin situation is not so bad for me. But I wax every few weeks. My eyebrows, I pluck, I tweeze in the middle, and then if something gets really long or weird or whatever, then I'll pluck it, or sometimes I trim them because the hairs themselves will get long. And so I'll trim my eyebrows, but I could not tell you. That's not true. I could tell you exactly the last time I shaved my legs or my armpits.
Wait, you shaved one leg?
I did shave one leg. I tried to sugar the other one and it bruised the fuck out of my leg. So I did have to do a little bit of shaving on that one for cleanup, but I had to definitely shave the other one. And that was when we went to Mexico for Liam's sister's wedding. So the end of July. And that was it.
That was your last time?
That's the last time I shaved my legs or my armpits. I just don't care.
I wish.
And I wore a dress today. It doesn't. Some days it bothers me. And I was actually talking to Clyde about this the other day because it's at the length right now. In a few days, I won't give a shit about this at all. I'll go back to not caring. But right now, it's at a weird length where sometimes it'll blow on my leg and I'll feel like something's crawling on my leg. Or that I have a long hair that's on my leg. And so then I'm swiping at my leg. I probably do that. I've been doing it.
Leg hairs are blowing in the wind.
So I was like, I can't. I'm just going to wax them, Clivey. She was like, yeah, because that went really well for you last time. I'll go have someone else do it. And she was like, okay. And just laughed at me. They're so mean. But yeah, sorry, guys. I don't shave my armpits. It doesn't bother me.
I feel like there's some Gen Zers that are doing that too. It's a thing.
Yeah.
I am stuck with shaving my armpits and making them look like raw chicken thighs from laser burn. Totally fine. Speaking of eyebrows, because I don't really do much to mine. Mine are thin and yours are not. I don't remember if we talked about this, but I got my eyebrows waxed when I was in high school one time. And guess what year it would be? Right? So, of course, this person, when she waxed my eyebrows, made them thin because that was the style back then. They never grew back.
That's wild.
So I got stuck with 2000s eyebrows because of that.
For eternity.
Forever. It's so weird.
I did for a short period of time in the 2000s. When I was younger, I was definitely a little more... I don't want to say vain because I don't think that that's a fair description. Because I don't think that's the only reason that people manage hair on their face. But like, so whatever. So when I was younger, I did wax them, but I never did the skinny.
Mm-hmm.
But it just doesn't match my face is the problem. I look so fucking weird with skinny eyebrows. It doesn't match my eye shape. Like it just like some people just shouldn't have skinny eyebrows, and I'm one of those people. I used to like definitely like give them a little better definition, like a little better arch. They never were like skinny though. Because it just not
that
cute.
don't look right.
Exactly. like I become one of those. I remember the memes from, I want to say this was probably like the mid-10s when there was a lot of jokes about Sharpie eyebrows.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You would look like a surprised old lady.
Yeah, it's not cute. So I very much appreciate, I think I grew into my kind of thick eyebrows. Because I have overall just coarse hair. Just genetically, that's what I was dealt, which is wild because my mom has super thin hair. I got all of the Sakura, all of the thick Eastern European shit. That's my life. Got to keep me warm in the cold winters.
Right.
So I have always had thick, coarse hair. And so I think I kind of just grew into them. But my friend Tasha did wax the shit out of her eyebrows and now just has to paint them on all the time. I think my mom has her eyebrows tattooed and her eyeliner tattooed. She's like permanent makeup.
Wow. I mean, I know it's a thing.
Yeah.
That's a commitment though.
I don't know if she still does the eyeliner, but
is it like semi-permanent? So you have to like.
Well, it's just like it's also just like tattoos on your hands, like because they wash and like you have a lot of cell turnover, so it doesn't stay as long.
I was just thinking about, because we're talking about chin hairs and various other hairs, obviously. I was well into my 20s before I realized that I was growing a beard, and I'll never forget the moment when I discovered the fact that there were some hairs growing out of my chin. It was so traumatic because at the time I was living in Lansing area, and oh my God, my friend Travis, I used to have this friend Travis. He still lives on Mackinac Island. He, like, God bless him, made a life out of living there, and I'm so jealous of that every day.
We have to get Liam on. Just like I got to commiserate about the auction. We got to get Liam on one time.
Right.
You guys can talk about your island days.
Yeah. So we knew each other from Mackinac Island, but he was still in college. And so he was in East Lansing because he was going to MSU. And so when I was down in the winter, I worked for Grand Hotel. And in the winter, we would move our office down to Okemos. And so I lived in Lansing in the winter. And so anyway, all of that to be said, we had been out drinking, clubbing, because that's what we did. And after we got done clubbing in East Lansing, and by now he wasn't living on campus. He had an apartment in the downtown. We, of course, went to Chipotle or, some similar place to get giant burritos the size of babies, because that's what you eat when you're drunk and high to top the night off, right? So we
had a White Castle.
God. We were on foot, though. White Castle is not an option in downtown East Lansing. Thank God.
Right. They probably make a killing.
Right. We passed out in his apartment. That night, we were actually being responsible, and I don't remember why, but my car was parked somewhere far away. And so we were forced to take a bus to my car, like a regular public transit bus. So the next morning, we're like fucking hungover. I still have my makeup on from last night. We've all been there. The same clothes as yesterday. And we're on this fucking bus full of people who are just carrying on with their regular lives. And we probably have like flies coming off of us because we're so gross. And
It
so
feels really dramatic.
that's how it felt. So then we get to where my car was parked. We had to take Travis to the bank. He had to go to the bank for something. And I was sitting in my car waiting for him and wanted to see how bad I really looked because we had just been in public. And so I pulled down my little mirror on my visor. And as I start to realize that not only did I have crusted up burrito juice on my face still, that the sun was shining just right, where I saw something on my chin in the light. And I was like, what is that? And the burrito juice was crusted on chin hair that was like this long. It was curly. It had just been there for who knows how long?
Probably just one day. I don't know how, but those ones grow so fast.
I know, but still, it was like this long. And I just started losing my shit, mostly laughing, but I was so horrified. Comes out of the bank and gets in the car, and he's like, what is wrong with you? You must have seen this because it's fucking massive. How many people have seen this and not
Said
saying
nothing.
it was accentuated by my crusty burrito juice this morning while we were on the bus. Holy shit. It was so bad.
How did you manage to leave his apartment without, like, seeing yourself in a mirror?
Actually, I think because his apartment was super weird. I don't know why. I think we have to get somewhere, kind of rolling
Let's
out of bed,
go.
and here we are. Yeah. And I assumed I wasn't going to see anyone I knew, which was accurate. These were all strangers, thankfully, but because Travis and I had seen each other in the worst possible circumstances ever. It's because of being drunk and high all the time with each other. So it's like,
it's fine.
Yeah. Oh God. Those were the days. Not really.
Yeah. I call them my granny hairs, and I notice them pretty quickly. But if I've missed one, if I've not noticed one, and then it's late in the day that I notice it, then I'll straight up just yell at Liam and be like, you let me look like a goat all day. He's like, I don't think so.
Mine?
Yeah, I accuse him of that occasionally.
I can feel them.
Yeah, no, I can feel them.
I hate it. And I always mess with it. Always.
This is literally the reason that I carry tweezers in my purse now.
Mm.
It's because, like, I would feel one, and you wouldn't even be able to, like, see it because it'd be, like, under my chin, right? Like, and so I could feel it, though, and I knew it was there.
It's still on the fold of your skin most of the time,
and I'm like,
you can feel it coming out.
Yeah, and I'm like, nope, that has to go right now. And so I started carrying tweezers in my bag, always. For that literal exact reason. For being a fucking old lady.
I probably should tweeze mine because I've just been using one of those little shaver things.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I don't even know what they're called, but
I had a friend who used to, like, shave her face. That is not for me.
Mine's like I think they're called like micro touches, or there was a brand that was that at one point.
Yeah.
Where it's basically a teeny tiny electric razor.
Yeah. Well, and the whole microplaning now is like a thing where you can spray this stuff and so you can see, and then you just I don't let there be hair on my face.
Yeah.
I just don't need it to be dark hair on my face. That's
so
where I draw the line.
Do you let your peach fuzz just run free on the rest of your face?
Yeah.
I used to as well.
Unless it's very dark. I don't know that I've ever had a problem with it though.
It's a problem for anyone. But
yeah.
When I started dating Trevor, for some reason he was like, why do you have peach fuzz? Like, why don't you do something about this? And so it's been a thing that I cater to now, which is odd to say out loud.
How is that less weird?
I know.
Than me putting lotion on Liam's feet?
Because it only has to do with my body and I don't have to touch his.
Well, you're letting him decide? how yours needs to look. Just
At
give him
least-
the old dick twist and tell him to get the fuck over it.
Oh, I know. I was gonna say, at least in your circumstance, it's a loving scenario. In mine, it was like judgmental.
That also feels like a weird thing to critique.
I know. I never questioned it. I've lived my whole life not even thinking about this. Maybe it's a thing that other people do. I just kind of started doing it. But
I am not one of those people, and I can honestly tell you that I have never had that discussion with any singular person other than right now, today.
another one, another episode of things that you don't talk about.
An accidental episode, things we don't talk about. And it's the peach fuzz, the soft little hairs.
Mhm,
I've
yeah.
seen in the last year, it definitely like is trending more,
To have it.
but no, to products to help you get rid of it. So I know
Wipe it off.
in the last several months, it's a thing that I have seen more frequently, but in the preceding 38 years.
Mm-hmm.
No, I did have a friend because her mustache and her beardy stuff was really thick. And so she did shave almost every day, but that wasn't about the peach fuzz things. That was literally the mustachy area.
Yeah.
Yeah, dark hairs. But yeah, I've never thought about that or seen someone's face and been like, why is their face soft? Why does it look like it could catch a dewdrop and have a little rainbow on their cheek?
Right.
Never once thought about that.
I hadn't either.
That's very odd. That's a very weird thing.
It is a weird thing.
I guess I'm not. I shouldn't be surprised. I am, but I shouldn't be. Like, that man presses his fucking jeans.
Yes.
Of course he cares about peach fuzz on a lady face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Slightly neurotic thing. Lindsey, every now and again, when we talk about Trevor,
Mm-hmm.
I think to myself, I should write some of these things down because one day there's gonna be a 48 hours about you guys. I can just feel it in my soul.
Oh my God. Don't say that to me. One of us is going to die. Which one?
Okay, first off, 48 hours isn't always death. Sometimes it's just accident.
I mean,
sometimes it's
most of the time it's death.
Sometimes yeah, but sometimes it's just attempted. I would be satisfied with that. I'm just saying it's gonna be one of those. Yeah, I do remember a time when Lindsey was like, "I mean, peach fuzz," and he told me, so I started shaving my face. And I'd be like, and that's weird. And you know what else he does? He irons his jeans. We all should have seen the signs.
Okay, I'm not going to sleep well.
I am both sorry and not sorry.
If
it makes you feel better, I have notes on most of my friends in regard to the eventual 48 hours I'm going to be on. Hopefully not my own, but I do have notes.
Let's say that instead of 48 hours, it will be... Wait, hold on. Yes, snapped. Yes.
Yeah.
That sounds better.
Okay. Point of the story is I'm fully prepared for any of my friends to unalive their spouse.
Are you going, if you were to do an interview for one of those shows, would you request to be kept anonymous so you could have like a weird voice and be a shadow?
No, because I've already picked out the scarves that I'm going to wear. They have their own hanger in my closet.
Oh my God.
They're my murder interview scarves.
Oh God.
Do other people not plan for when they have to be on true crime shows about their friends and family?
No.
Oh, that's weird.
Even though I should. I have some sketchy shit like in my life. But I never considered this.
Bro, yeah, for fucking sakes you do.
Yeah. My sister killed my dad.
Your sister should have her own folder. Her own 3-ring, 4-inch fucking binder.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, man. What a thought.
I'm gonna make you a little binder now. For your sister. You can write yourself notes.
Thank you.
put pictures in there so that when 48 hours and or snapped comes along, you're ready. You won't have to spend any time looking for that shit.
I will also not have scarves because I will request to be anonymous only because it's fucking hilarious when people do that because the voices are so weird and my voice is so high. Oh my God. It would sound so funny.
I hope that when this happens, we get to be in the same episode.
Me too. Oh my God.
Because I'll be there in my fabulous fucking scarves, and you'll be there being anonymous, and everybody will know who it is. Because the internet, that is what the internet does. The internet will find this clip, will find this episode, and be like, these fucking bitches. That's what the internet does. It's its fucking job.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Just so you know.
One day,
when
this will be evidence in court.
We're on a true crime show together, and one of us is there in a fabulous scarf, and one of us is there anonymously. You'll all know.
Speaking of court, for some reason, the whole that heard stuff on Netflix.
I remember watching it when it was happening.
Well, yeah, I remember it too, but I was not fully paying attention. I mean, you see so many things that would blow up on social media, and like obviously I knew about those things, but at the end of the day, I was just like, okay, whatever. I thought she was beautiful. I was shocked at how pretty I thought she was, but then as people started to see through her, I was even more fascinated just because she's fucking insane, basically. Maybe. Yeah. But yeah, that documentary or whatever you call it is interesting. Just, I don't know how I feel about the whole scenario still.
How slightly related.
Speaking of feminism, I feel like that has a lot to do with that topic, that trial.
It does.
Obviously. Yeah.
Yeah. It is wild to think about, like, because the default is like you want to believe her. That's what we're all trained for.
Yep.
Now, we've spent the last decade drilling that into people. And for there to be a significant amount of evidence to the contrary, it is a strange place to find yourself from an analytical perspective and from a societal perspective, because now we also have a huge shared experience. And I feel like that was probably the first one that kind of kicked off a tumble of big public things like that.
No,
about like
it wasn't.
Calling into, maybe I'm just thinking about it specifically because we're talking about that reference.
Well, the Me Too movement started before that trial.
Yeah. No. I mean, the trial pieces specifically afterwards. There were a lot of hearings after that then got put in that same light. So watching that trial happen, and we're all like, because we all wanted to believe her. And then as it starts to play out, we're like, bitch is crazy. And so I feel like there were several other high profile cases shortly after that where that same mentality now was being applied. Is this bitch crazy too?
Right.
Which, seemed super unfair both sides.
Yeah.
None of us were making the right choice, which I don't think there is a right choice. To be fair,
no,
you can't blindly trust someone all the time. You can't assume that everyone has nefarious intent. But standing in the middle of those two things is also seen as almost passive, Yeah. Oh, you don't care about it at all, because that's where we live now. We've polarized everything, including fucking feminism.
Yeah, that's true.
Good job, guys. Way to go, society. I can't just like have moderates anymore.
No.
It's asking too much. I mean, I do understand if we're all moderates, less things get done. To be honest, there has to be radicals in either direction to make sure that we all don't just sit around with our thumbs up our asses because we can never agree. There have to be catalysts to change, which is very reasonable, but we don't all have to be that catalyst. I'll say.
I got in a straight up argument with a man over just their action. How cheesy. It was on a post that was shared about Priyanka Chopra saying something about the differences between being a woman in the industry and how much harder you have to work to get notable or even taken seriously. So it was pissing me off because this dude, oh my God, it was just, I cannot believe people still feel this way. But there's probably so many more that it just blows my mind. His argument against what she was saying was maybe start Googling. Well, first he says, really, how are we equal cerebrally? Who are the better strategists, academics, professors, scientists? Maybe start Googling and comparing the number of men and women with your so-called high cerebral capacity. And I was like, excuse me, sir. Do you ever wonder if your Google results are also showing you how many women didn't have the same opportunities as the highly accomplished men in the world? You really don't get it.
Because you just expected us to be at home making your babies instead of using our noggins.
Yeah. Then his response, the victim card. Men made those opportunities for themselves. They were not ranting about it. You say you're equally capable, but still you can't make opportunities for yourselves. World is a competition and men are not given opportunities. Silver platter, they fight and compete with other men just like everyone. Just because you can't qualify to some standards is not men's problem. I'm like, oh my God, like this is classic. So I just continued to rant and jump down his throat. You cannot understand how much harder it is.
Literally, you don't know what you're talking about.
No, we're never starting at the same level. We're always at a disadvantage. It has nothing to do with actual talent. So
I was listening to Josh Johnson earlier. Do you know who Josh Johnson is?
No.
He's a correspondent on The Daily Show.
Oh, okay.
He's so fucking funny. And I listen to him frequently. And actually what started me on this, before we got distracted with the feminism thing, and this is circling back in my brain, it won't go away. He was talking about Diddy situation that is ahead of us right now. And so we all know he is crazy, right? Okay, great. Cool. I'm just glad we're all on the same page to start with that. But the documentary is about, first off, I think Netflix already kicked one out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's already up. But I did not realize the depth of the Diddy 50 Cent feud.
Oh, yeah, I'm completely oblivious to that.
Listening to Josh Johnson talk about how 50 Cent has spent a significant portion of his career hating Diddy so hard. That apparently he has been also putting together some sort of documentary. Yeah. So I'm not surprised. I'm surprised that a different one came out so fast. But I'm curious to see how this plays out because like he is like a mobster for real. Like his family is. So yeah. I have so many questions and I'm looking forward to like seeing how it all plays out. I think it'll be really interesting.
God, he makes $90 million a year.
That's wild. We're talking about Diddy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I found a Forbes article saying that he was ranked number 14 on Forbes' list of highest paid entertainers in 2022. So not long ago, which is so weird.
Is he even an entertainer still?
No, I think he's producing and stuff like that. It has to be.
Yeah.
Because I
That's
haven't heard anything.
yeah. I kind of forgot about him, to be honest, until all
Yeah.
this stuff kicked up recently-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's maybe I should write a
Okay.
quiz. Maybe I should write a quiz round about P. Diddy.
You should. Absolutely.
That would be so fun. Yeah.
Do you remember Mace?
Mace?
It was like his little buddy when they started releasing after. So here's a very important question. Were you Tupac or Biggie?
Tupac.
Oh, shit. No.
Do we have to fight now?
I think we do. We're not compatible. East Coast versus
Okay.
West Coast.
We are ourselves going to be the 48 hours episode. All of our friends are gonna have to give interviews about us. Liam, you better fucking defend me.
Oh my God. Well, I was definitely a Biggie girl. And because of that, Puff Daddy, I hate saying that out loud because it's so stupid. Sean Combs was on my radar because they were, they were part of the same little crew, even though I actually ended up hating his music, Puff Daddy. Like, it
Yeah, I
never
don't remember it ever being
killed my fancy.
resonating. Yeah.
But I thought Mace was hot, which that was the only reason why I was asking you if you remembered.
I don't.
He was hot. I wonder what happened to him. I'm Googling that.
Dear internet.
Mace spelled
Give me-
M-A-S-E. What happened
Well, that makes
to Mace?
sense. That's how you spell mace. So
I thought it was C.
I thought you just said C.
I said M-A-S-E.
S-E. Oh, sorry. Maybe in my brain I was just like, yeah, we know how to spell mace. It's fine.
Okay. Is he alive? Yes, he's alive. 49 years old. I bet he still looks pretty cute. Let's look.
I don't like that.
What?
That an artist that was cool in our youth is 50. That's unsettling to me.
He's a Virgo.
I've been dealing with that a lot this week, though. My age has been a challenge for me all week.
I'm sorry.
I'm not mad about the age that I am.
It's just like you're realizing.
This week, several things have happened where I'm like, why does this hurt so much? I'm cooler than this. I'm still young and hip. And so then I know.
Me and my friend Scott, who met me at the bar in Lansing, we were talking about how when we were in grad school, most of us were like either mid to late 20s-ish. That we were all kind of within that range. I was the non-traditional student where I didn't go right from undergrad to grad school, so I'm a little older than everybody else. Whatever. But we're talking about like how much we used to party and how like this spring we saw each other at a work event and like there was a small semblance of the group that we used to have, like of our friends. And all we talked about while we had lunch together was like all of the medications that we take and all of our health problems. And I was like, oh my God, let's get a picture so that we can document Sid's. It's like the reboot of Sex in the City because we call our group Sex in the Historic District. And the reboot, unlike the one on HBO, which of course these women are still glamorous and amazing and beautiful and accomplished. The Sid's version is now we all have pre-diabetes and mental illness issues. So I feel you.
Yeah. I'm quite indifferent about my actual age. Whatever, it's a representation of the number of years I've successfully completed.
Mm-hmm.
I routinely forget I am the age that I am a lot. I forget it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
When some people ask me how old I am, I have to like, genuinely think about it because my default is like, I'm 30.
Is that how old you feel?
I think so. So. It used to be like, then sometimes it still does a little lower than that. But on average, though, I think I do actually feel like I am 30, which is a weird, like, I think I only feel like I'm 30 because I have a mortgage and 2 kids. If I had 2 kids and we still rented, I probably would think that I was younger. I'm not.
I don't
Because, like, we
know.
have grown-up
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
Like, so, like, we're frugal in a different kind of way, in, like, a responsible kind of way, not in a, like, necessity kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what makes me think that I'm, like, closer to the 30 mark than the 20-something mark.
I feel like I'm 60.
Like,
So,
I think also there's obviously a huge visual difference in how women age, how people age, not just women, but
yeah.
specifically how women age. We're expected to look 30 in our 60s. That's the goal. And it's
Yeah.
weird.
And men just
It's
get
not,
to get fat and not have to dye their hair and just be gross. And everyone's okay with that. Except for me.
yeah, don't be okay with it.
This is why my cougar tendencies are a thing, but whatever.
I usually make Liam take a modicum of care for himself. He's actually better at,
Except
yeah,
for clipping his nails. I don't know.
except for that. From, like, an appearances perspective, though, like, sometimes he does look like a 17-year-old boy, but mostly he dresses like a 40-year-old man. Generally speaking, he looks 40.
Does he wear cargo shorts?
Yeah.
I thought so.
He's wearing them right now.
That's a millennial thing, isn't it?
I think it is, yeah.
A geriatric millennial, because he's older than me. Isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he turned 42 this year.
Yeah.
So, like, our friends that are a little bit older than us, they do, like, the golf short thing. What are you doing? Did you just fart at me? Let's see.
No, what just happened? I'm just trying to make sure your algorithm stays in check.
Thanks.
Oh my god, I'm sorry.
I don't know if I could survive without fart videos. Out here doing the Lord's work. It's fine.
I remembered I took Calvin to a corn maze today, and I was not a willing participant, but I went in the corn maze because my kid wanted to. I was like, man, I'm going to sweat. Like, I'm not looking forward to this situation. Thankfully, there was a woman who was heavier and older that made me feel very spry in comparison.
Nice.
But this reminds me of a time.
I fought with a breakfast table this morning. That's how fat I was feeling.
One time I went through a corn maze with my parents for some reason as an adult. Like, not when I was a kid. And my dad, who is my stepdad, to clarify, but I just refer to him as my dad. He farted at other people that we did not know while we were in the maze. And it was like the I fart in your general direction, reference. And I'm just like, oh my God, those poor people. What? Their version of that story is probably hilarious.
This is old man just crop dusting everybody.
No, he like legitimately farted loudly right as they were like coming towards us. Like, he intentionally farted at them.
So the other day, I had a memory pop up on my Facebook from 7 years ago. And it's a conversation that was had in our car. One day we were in Traverse City, and one of the kids asked if we could stop by Art Van. And I was like, you know, the furniture store. And I was like, no, we don't need anything from Art Van. We're not going in there. why do you want to go in there? And one of the children's responses is like, I just want to sit on all the couches. Like, no, we're not doing that. And then they're like, I want to fart on all the couches. I was like, we're definitely not doing that. And then they ask Liam, they're like, Dad, can we go to Art Van and fart on all the couches? And I had to talk them out of this. And it'd be like, no, guys, we're not doing that. We're not going into the furniture store just to sit on things to fart on them and then leave. We have stuff to do today.
Party pooper. You were pooping on their fart party.
What?
That's sad. I'm sorry that your children had to endure your
Me being so lame. Yeah. So now
Hey.
it pops up in my memories every year, and it gives me a little chuckle because I can see their little faces sitting in the back seat, being like, "Please, we're not doing that. No."
Oh my God.
And then Liam's over here like, "Yeah,
let's
sure,
do it.
whatever. That sounds
That
fun."
would have been my reaction for sure. But
I was the bearer of bad news that day.
I remember one time not recently, it was probably within the year though. My stepdad was with us and we were going to a restaurant for dinner with Calvin. It was just the three of us. We pull up like to the curb. It was street parking because it's downtown Charlevoix. And as we arrive, for some reason, Calvin exclaimed loudly, "Hey ladies, welcome to the fart party." And I was like, what ladies? First of all, he was talking to the general public, essentially, and or his friend Annabelle, whose dad owns that restaurant. Maybe, I don't know. It was so funny,
Okay.
so funny.
On the same day as the Art Van story comes up in my memories, it's about the same week as that. It's very close to that day. A different memory pops up, and it's a conversation between Liam and Atticus, where Atticus asks Liam to sniff his butt. And Liam tells him, no, I'm not going to sniff your butt. And Atticus's response to that is, if you sniff my butt, I'll give you a piece of candy. That's all I have recorded of the story.
Oh my God.
My assumption is that Liam continued to say no. Feels like probably what happened. I don't know.
Or maybe he had some candy.
Yeah. So this is
funny
5-year-old Atticus, 6-year-old Atticus.
Right.
Being like, you want to sniff my butt? No, thank you. I will give you candy.
I feel like males in general always want other people to experience a bad smell with them, and I think there's something wrong with that. How many times has a person that has a penis in your life picked up, say, a dirty pair of socks on the floor, smelled them, and then been like, hey, smell this? Why the fuck would I ever do that? You just confirmed what we knew, that they did not smell good. I don't need to know.
When I was like, I don't know, I was probably like 10 or 12, one of my mom's cousins was getting married in Vegas. He was like an architect. He was part of a build team for a huge hotel. And so they were having their wedding there. And so we went to Vegas, and I was young. And we were in the Coca-Cola store. And they have the flavors of Coke from around the world, all the variations and stuff. And I distinctly remember Darren, my stepdad, and my brother Jason tasting these things. And every time one tasted that, they would literally say, "It tastes terrible. You should try it." Why? I've heard so many lights about that over the years. And every time I hear someone tell a similar story, that's the one that I go to. It's the Coca-Cola store when I'm like 11. I just trust you. So
you did the hard work.
I didn't want to play this game to begin with.
Right.
You're not selling it. It's the same reason I can't do the Jelly Belly thing.
Oh my God, the weird tasting ones? No.
Oh my God, no.
No. Why?
That's a 0 for me. That's
why does anyone
no thank
want
you.
to gag on purpose?
Mm-mm.
No. I wouldn't do that for $1 million.
I did try to play that game one time because like my kids was it Bean Boozled, I think is the actual game.
Oh yeah.
And so like you spin it and you get like there's a good color, like there's two flavors that are the same color and one is yucky and one is delicious.
Mm-hmm.
And so like someone got it for my kids. I'm just trying to be a good sport. And so I played it one time with them. And the first one that I ate was grass. So it wasn't the worst thing to eat by any means.
Mm-hmm.
It was very weird though. It was odd. And then the next one that I spun, the alternate flavor was like rotten egg or something super gross. Sorry guys, I'm out. This
It's been fun.
gotta draw the line.
Yeah.
I can't. Nope. That was it. I ate one grass flavored jelly bean.
Did you actually
then-
have to swallow them too?
I mean, I think I did the grass one
Mm-hmm.
because again, probably the least offensive of the bad flavors. But that was the end of playing that game for me. So I know nothing else about it. I've heard plenty of horror stories of people who got super gross ones. And I'm like, that's why I don't play that stupid game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a dumbass. I am a smart adult person who makes better choices than that, mostly.
In this area of my life.
Yeah. When it comes to food things, I don't want you to fuck up any flavor for me. Like,
No.
I don't ever want to have a bad food memory. It sounds so sad to me. Liam has a bad green bean memory. He still doesn't like to eat green beans. He's better about it now. He's sitting here next to me and he claims he no longer has problems with green beans.
I see. I had issues with Brussels sprouts because of my pregnancy, but
Interesting.
I did eat them recently and enjoyed them, so I guess maybe I'm cured.
I don't know that I've ever had strong feelings about Brussels sprouts.
They're pretty good.
I've not. I can't remember having bad ones. I've had them, like roasted and with Parmesan and stuff on them.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember having bad Brussels sprouts ever. I've had tasty ones, but I've never gone out of my way to have Brussels sprouts. I don't think I've ever cooked them at home.
That's the reason why my aversion happened, is because I cooked some and they stink up the house. They make your house smell awful, just like broccoli does. And I mean, yeah, broccoli is great. However, it stinks like poop and farts when you cook it.
It does kind of smell farty.
And that was enough for me when I was pregnant to be like, I can't eat these. And it just kind of stuck.
In my first pregnancy, the only food I ever had struggles with was bananas, and it was short-lived.
Bananas are kind of gross, though.
I love bananas.
There's a huge contingency of people in general that are thoroughly grossed out by bananas.
I mean, I can see that. They have kind of a weird texture.
They do, absolutely.
Like-
and those little strings.
Mm-hmm.
And like how easy it is to like have an overripe one, and
Yeah.
No.
That makes sense to me. I do love bananas though. And I was sad when during my first pregnancy, it was like near the end of my first trimester with Atticus that I was eating a banana one day. Like I was driving to work, eating a banana in the car, and I had to pull over on the highway because it was super gross. So there were several weeks there, like for a little while, where bananas were quite the turn off, and then I went back to eating them and it was fine. So I don't know if it was the banana in that moment or I had that negative experience, and so that it deterred me for a little while, but now I've resolved it. When I was pregnant with Calliope though, this was actually super inconvenient. I could not tolerate the smell of raw meat.
Okay.
Couldn't do it. Like raw beef, no. Raw chicken, no. Raw meat could not be in our house. We did
At all?
not cook meat in our house for months
Oh my God.
because I could not stand the smell of it. My mom would make dinner. My mom would cook food. I'll have it totally done, and then we would go over there and have something to eat. But like if I was home, like in our apartment, we did not cook raw meat. We didn't cook meat for months because I wouldn't even buy it at the grocery store. I wouldn't even go to the meat section at the grocery store. It was so bad. Could not handle the smell of raw meat at all.
Does Calliope have an aversion to meat? That's weird.
She is lactose intolerant,
Mm.
and we've known that
Mm-hmm.
almost all along. We've known that she's had an intolerance since she was a baby.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely
doesn't
more
take-
pronounced now. It's more severe now.
Mm. It doesn't take long for a baby to figure that out.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we've always Atticus doesn't really have any. He's hesitant to try new foods, but that's a normal kid thing. Lots of kids struggle to when it comes to new flavors.
And sometimes
Generally
it's
speaking, though,
too.
I did luck out though. I had 2 kids who we did not fight much with them with eating. We started them with vegetables long before we let them have fruits, and so they've always been good vegetable eaters. What happens when we get off schedule, which we have to change the schedule anyways, because we can't do Thursdays anymore.
Oh, we can't?
I don't have coverage. I don't have coverage on
Yeah,
Thursdays.
because you used to have what's-her-face. And you shit canned her.
I didn't love it. So
Okay, well,
so yeah.
that sounds like doable because my Tuesdays are pretty light, so
So wait, let's plan to shift to Tuesdays.
sounds good.
I'm gonna go to bed. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm gonna do.
Me
I'm
too.
very tired.
I'm gonna go cuddle
Okay,
with my cute baby.
I'm gonna take this chunker upstairs and give her the snuggles. Yeah. Yeah, talking about you.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. I'll talk to you later. Thanks.
I love you. Bye.
I love you too. Bye bye.
Bang, bang, goes the cougar magnum. I've been bang.
If you like this episode, please remember to subscribe to our podcast and head to doublechinswagon.com to learn how you can email or call our hotline to share your thoughts on our recent discussions. We love to interact with you and are always looking for guests as well. Thanks so much for listening. Now go and live your best life today.
Pick up the phone.